Hello there, this is Rom Wills with yet another smartphone couch video. yeah. Um, Check out Reading First Encounters with Women on Vimeo. Check it out because I had to do another on-demand video because a lot of guys they be messing up the first encounter with a woman because a lot of guys don't know how to read the situation. A lot of guys, like, even with that cold approach versus choosing signals argument, if you can read the situation better, you know where you stand. So, and it's kind of in two parts. One, I'm talking about just learn how to read a woman to the point you can either approach her or recognize she's throwing out her breadcrumbs, shooting her shot. Like one thing I talked about in the video, in the on-demand video, is never forget this meme I saw. It was like three panels. It was it was supposed to be a woman shooting her shot at this guy, and she ain't say anything. She just looked at him, then walked away. That was her, but that's how they'll do. That's how they'll do. So it's like, even sometimes when somebody think it's a cold approach, no, she saw you from blocks down the street and put herself in your path. I talk about all of that. And then the times when it's really a cold approach, I'll say, okay, you got to read whether she's open in that. That's one of the main things because there's some basics. You can look at a woman and tell if she's open, generally open for just a random approach or that she's not. It's very simple. I don't know why it's not complicated either. But you got to buy it to find out. And it ain't, let's put it like this. You hear it, you be like, oh, because it's something you can go out and test. But then also a main part is when I'm saying when you actually having a conversation with a woman. Like, okay, you got, she look good, she approached you, you think she look good and all of that. A lot of guys lose it at that point of the conversation. Because remember, that's part of like any encounter. You can have the great bait. Like I've said so many times, a model has said it on here. A model has said this. It's like good looking gets you 40 extra seconds. Hey, you got to be able to say something. And you got to know who you're talking to. Like an example I used from Nice Guys and Players. I talked about a guy talking to this woman and she's polite. She's talking with him, but the whole time she didn't look at him. He didn't get the number. See, you got to understand all of that. You got to understand all of that. And you got to be able to read the encounter. Because the better you get at reading, actually your percentage goes up. Because, people will say, well, you can get 3% of the women you approach. You can get up to maybe 50, 60, 70, 90%. And seriously, if you know how to read them. You can like increase the odds. And I say 90%, it's that deep. It's that deep. If you read them, or at least have a good first encounter. Now, as far as a relationship or anything else, but then, that's another conversation, another video. But at least on the first encounter, know what you're dealing with. Like a lot of guys get upset over getting rejected. But if you had read all the signs at first, you would have known you shouldn't have approached to begin with. Or you should have known, even though you're having a conversation, if you read in a conversation, you should know, like, well, you'll know the difference between, oh, well, okay, have a good day now, and, oh, put your number in my phone. And it's not that difficult. One of the problems out here, a lot of guys make stuff too difficult. Too difficult. And I probably talked about all of these things several times on the channels, but never directly. I'm putting it in one place. Even came up with a certain term for certain facial expressions for women in there. And if you learn the signals, you learn everything, you increase your odds. Now, nothing's 100%, no matter what. Nothing's 100%. Because you could have all the positive signs and everything and still gets none. And that's okay. But you increase your odds though, and it's kind of like something I got from reading The Art of War by Sun Tzu. You'll know when to move, when to pull back. You'll know when to say something, when not to say something. And shoot, as you get to a point, you know what to talk about, what not to talk about. Shoot, and this is something, and I mentioned this goes beyond even just the meeting. Like, even though I didn't get specifically into the relationship aspect, like, say you meet a woman, she's interested, very positive, all the positive signs. Y'all go on that date, everything's going good, but then they get to a point she don't want to do anything afterwards. In fact, she don't want to talk to you. She might even go as far as to say lose her number. And you might be trying to figure out, well, all this stuff was going great, but you didn't read her expressions while you were talking. And you might have said something that really annoyed her. And you didn't address it. You know? Like, say you say something and it offends her in a great way, but she don't say anything, but her body language, her facial expressions say it. You know? They saying something. Now, you apply what I'm sharing in this video, you'll be like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Her face just did this. What did I say? What did I do? You know, her body language started doing this. What did I say? What did I do? Because you might be able to clean it up. Or at least, you know, say go in a different direction with the conversation. It's like, oh, I said this, she did that, she's doing this. Let me switch it up. Let me switch it up now. You know? Get it back to the fun stuff. But, you know, an associate would call it conversational kung fu. Yet another video. That's something else. That's something else. But you got to be able to read the situation. You got to be reading. Because, see, one thing with women, most women ain't going to be direct. 99% of them ain't going to just walk up to you and say, you's a big, fine man. Won't you stick that thing in? Most ain't going to do that. You know? Like I say, I use the example of that meme that women might just look at you, you know? Or they'll put themselves and ask some indirect question. Like, you know, I always use the avocado example. You in a store, she's asking, oh, how you like these avocados? And stuff. And all you doing is just looking at her. Or say, oh, you know, I know about this situation, you know? It's like, oh, okay. But then you still reading the situation too. You got to learn to read the situation. Know, is she just talking or she's interested? Because one thing I talk about in the video is many women, they just like to talk. So they can have a conversation with you, but they not turned on sexually. You know, you kind of in that friend zone, somebody they can chill out with. Like the video I did today was about like some women got hangout buddies. They might put you in a hangout buddy thing. But I give you the clues to look for to know whether or not she's seeing you that way. And it's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's just a matter of a man paying attention. You can get there's so many reads on a woman. It's really scary. It's scary that some guys be messing up to the extent they do. You know? So anyway though, definitely check it out. The link for it is in the description box. And one of the things that I would advise fellas, men, women too, anybody who's interested in knowing when my stuff will come out. See, y'all seen this video, but my you know, the subscribers, they're already paying for it. They're already getting it, and you'll know what's up. And this might be a point on, I might just be doing stuff just on Vimeo, or at least more stuff. You know, I hit you with a 99-cent video, a quick video or something. I don't know, but definitely sub there. And, you know, of course, check out all my other sites, my Patreons and everything. All of that's in the description box. But the link for this one specifically is the first link in there. Check it out. Thank you for your support. And one of the things, I give you one thing I said towards the end of the video. Apply it. Practice, practice, practice. All right? You got to get out there. And it's not going to be magic. You got to learn. You got to develop those skills. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for now. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.